The first question is today's topic is plant organs, stems, and uh, the first question is functions of the stems. Is there anyone who would like to answer? Jasmine and Asma Abdul, please and also turn on your camera. I cannot see you
You have exam tomorrow? Test?
tomorrow.
Test
What?
tomorrow or no?
What?
Today.
We don't have classes tomorrow, and today
No, no, no.
is not
Today test.
test. Today is
Test?
normal class practice, but I ask you during the practice, so you should be prepared for the topic.
Okay.
So who of you would like to answer for the first question is functions of the stem. I don't give you a score for that question. So if you like your answer is not good, that is fine. So we are just trying to prepare you for the test. So you know what do you know and what do you need to revise. So could you please turn on the camera so I can see you, because I cannot see any one of you. Adbo, Asma and Jasmine, please turn on the camera so I can see you. And the first question is functions of stems.
Again the question, please. The
Functions of the
function.
stems.
The stems.
Functions of the stems. Do you have the topic lists? I will send you to the chat to the list of the topics. Do you have this one?
Function of the stems. Stems may be herbs, soft or woody in nature. Their main function is to provide support to the plant, holding leaves, flowers, and buds. In some cases, stems also store food for the plant.
So the first is the storage, right?
Yes.
So other functions.
Yes. This is a function. Function.
Are there any other functions?
The main function of stems are as follows: the stems bears branches and leaves, and also gives place from where flowers and fruits grow. Conduction of fluids and minerals between the roots and shoots in the xylem and vol strong food system have mertes that generate new live tissue.
Jasmine, your answer is good, but you are reading. So when if you read during the test, then that is not satisfactory answer.
No read, but is I'm asleep. I am not be good now, but I am بجمع زي ما بيقولوا. ما
What?
علينا. تعال. No, no, no. It's good.
So good. So I encourage you to switch on the camera so I can see you because I cannot see you now.
Okay.
Others, please switch on the camera too.
Once. Uh, wait, please. هو السنة ماشي. ما يقول إنما الأهل وهيشوف هيسيبني. تعالي تليفون بس بسرعة كده. أنا مش عارفة هو عايز إيه بس أوكي.
So what tissues are responsible for which function?
What?
The second question is which tissues are responsible for every function?
minute. Please answer. Again, please switch.
Which tissues are responsible for the functions? For which functions?
Root in
Function of system
No, which tissues are responsible for every function?
for every function.
اتكلمي ولا نتكلم؟
اتكلم لو عايز.
نحاول كده طيب. Root in botany that the part of vascular plant normally underground. It is primary function and charge of the plant absorption of water and solid mineralize and conduction of their to the stem and storage of reserve food.
So which tissues are responsible for storage?
ما مسامحش ولا إيه؟
قول السؤال عشان again please question because Abdo is didn't answer is didn't again question. أنا
So
نايمة أقسم بالله.
what tissue is responsible for the storage?
What test
Tissue.
of
tissue
what tissue
Yes, tissue.
يعني طماطم قلت ايه؟ قلت
قولها
لك
تاني.
root in botany that part of a vascular plant normally underground. It is primary
Akbo,
function.
please don't read the text. We are not in the primary
Tissue.
school where children uh, learn to read. We are at the university, so where you should understand what you read and then explain that one.
What tissue?
During the lecture, I'm not reading you the textbook. So the thing is that you should read the textbook at home before the class. Then you should remember the text that you have read before, understand this text, and then answer the questions. So if you are not prepared for the topic, then usually your answers are not good. and uh, I score your answers depending on that. So if I see that you are not prepared for the class, then I will not give you a score, satisfactory score. I will give you unsatisfactory. So if you want a high score, then please read, read in advance. Don't read during the class. So please tell me whom of you prepared the topic in advance. So
nobody. حد
nobody.
جاهز يا جماعة؟
Okay, my question is, please look at the chart in the conference here. Do you see the plan? Jasmine,
What?
do you see the plan in the chart?
No.
So look on the right side. There is a chart with everyone at the top. Do you see that?
I didn't understand.
So here in this meeting,
Yes.
there are some buttons at the top where you can see who is in the chart. Do you see it? It's called meeting details.
Yes.
So then there is a chart.
Okay.
I will show you one moment.
حد فاهم هو عايز ايه؟
So do you see this one?
Yes, now yes.
This semester 1, chapter 1, chapter 3. Do you see this one?
Yes.
So do you have this plan?
Uh, chapter 1.
Because I asked
عمل
the Hossam to send you, I asked your group leader
yes, yes, yes.
to
Yes.
send
Yes,
this
yes.
plan. Do you have it?
Yes.
اللهم صل على النبي.
استنى بس عشان خاطر هو حسام بعتها فعلا على فكرة.
So this plan has a topic for every class. Like today, our class is plant organ stems. So you know this in advance. So I don't tell you every class that our next topic is this. So if you want, I can tell you, okay, for the next class, please prepare chapter number 8, plant organs leaves. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so please put some mark for you so that you can prepare in advance. So and follow this plan. So from this plan you can see that the third test is 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, so prepare for that too. So and this test 3 have 2 chapters, stems and leaves,
Okay.
and then we have another 2 chapters, and then the fourth test, and then that is over. It's December.
Okay.
So and for the stems, if you are not prepared, so then let's prepare together.
Yes. It's okay.
So other students, where are other students?
Husam, he is problem with the internet and he prepare to travel to Russia.
Okay, so I will record the this one so you can watch online after. Okay, so let's uh, revise the topic so you can prepare for the test. So the first question is the functions of the stem, and so here uh, we start with the vegetative uh, plant. So the plants usually have two uh, two states. Like they can be vegetative, that is growth and preparing storage, and reproductive. So reproductive uh, can be different from the vegetative depending on the plant. So and for the vegetative, vascular plant, and vascular plant means that it is a uh, higher organized plant. So and it has roots, stems, and leaves. So we already studied roots 2 weeks ago. So and now we are studying the stems. So and uh, there are two main types of the stems: herbaceous and woody. So herbaceous look like this. So they look like herbs. So they are usually green and very thin. And woody are usually gray and very thick. Can be as thick as the uh, as a small house. So these are woody, and woody are in trees and shrubs, and herbaceous are usually in herbs. And most of the medicinal plants are herbs. So that is why you will mostly focus on the herbs. However, there are some trees, so that is why you should study trees too. And then if you cut the stem, so if you make a cut at any point, and then you will see this under the microscope. So if you take a sunflower, for example, this is a sunflower. Uh, do you use sunflower oil, Asma? Do you have do you use oil in the kitchen, Jasmine?
No, no, yes.
Yes.
What?
Do you
Yes,
use
yes.
sunflower oil or olive oil?
What?
Do you use sunflower oil or olive oil?
بتستخدم الطاقة الشمسية ولا بتستخدم الغاز في الطبيخ؟
الغاز.
قولي له طيب.
غاز يعني اويل. الله يخرب
In
بيتك
the
يا بابا.
kitchen, do you when you prepare, when you cook, do you use sunflower oil?
No, no sunflower.
Non sunflower? What kind of oil do you use?
غاز يعني غاز جاز.
Jasmine, what is so you don't use oil at all?
Yes, we use
What kind of oil?
what?
What kind of oil?
Sunflower oil. Yes, of
Sunflower?
course.
Okay. Because I suppose you use olive oil or any other type, no? Okay, good. So you know what is the sunflower. This is sunflower. So if you cut the stem of the sunflower, you will see that it is cut is round shaped. So this is common shape for most of the plants. So by the way, sunflower, uh, the Latin name is Helianthus annus. So Helianthus means sunflower, annus means annual. So this is a secular cross section. So some plants don't have round; they have a square. So there are three functions of the stems. So so this first is a support, and for the support, the usually the vascular bundle is responsible for the support, and so support can be for the leaves and reproductive structures, and reproductive structures are usually flowers. Like this sunflower has a flower at the top, so that is located on the stem, and also for the leaves, and leaves also located on the stem. So this is first function, that is support. Then also the fruits, because flowers will be fruits after the uh, so uh, after fertilization, the flowers will give the fruits. And then the second is the internal transport. So the for the transport, the vascular bundle, so also the tissue is vascular bundle, and there are two two types of the tissues, that is phloem. So this is this is microscopic structure of the eudicostem. So the herbs are the herbaceous plants are divided are different in eudicots and monocots. So most of them are eudicots and have this type of the stem. And if we look at this vascular bundle that are around the edge of the stem, the vascular bundle consists of the phloem that transfers the organic substances, glucose, and the xylem. And xylem is transferring the water and minerals dissolved in the water. So tissue names are phloem and xylem. So these are for the transport. Then the third function is forming the buds. So the buds are a special organ that can give life to leaves. Well, sometimes buds will develop into the reproductive structures, but mostly like flowers. So buds can develop to the leaves or the flowers. So and the buds have a primary growth, so they will increase the height of the tree. So like this is a structure of a woody wick. So the wick is a young woody plant, and in the wick there is a terminal bud that is bud at the top of the wick, and then there are bud scales. So scales are the places where the buds were connected last year, and then this is the growth during the 1 year. And then there is a node, internode, and node. So internode is the space between two buds, and also between the leaf scar. So this is a place where the leaf were connected, but now the leaves are shed. Then this is, so it's actually, if you look at this week, so we can calculate that is 1, 2, 3, 3-year week, because we have three terminal buds. So 1, 2, and 3. So 3-year week looks like this. So then the microscopic structure of the stems of herbaceous eudicot looks like this, and the difference is that the vascular bundles are located at the edge, around the edge of the stem. So the outer layer is epidermis. So if we look at the microscopic structure, there is one layer of the epidermis, and then there is a cortex. This is the parenchyma of the cortex, and then the vascular bundle. Vascular bundle consists of the fiber cap, phloem fiber cap, phloem, and vascular cambium. Vascular cambium will give a new phloem and xylem. So vascular cambium increases the size of the vascular bundle. Sorry, and xylem also uh, uh, xylem is also developing from the vascular cambium, and the vessel elements here are part of the xylem. So the space between these vascular bundles is a pith ray, and in the center here this is a pith. Pith is also parenchyma cells, usually used for the storage. Also, the epidermis is covered with the cuticle, and cuticle is a waxy layer that reduces water loss, that is important, especially in the dry areas. So there is also here there is also a comparative description of the roots and stems. So we started roots 2 weeks ago, and there are much differences between the roots, uh, roots and stems. For example, except the nodes and internodes that are uh, outside, like the roots don't have leaves or buds, and they are photosynthetic because they're not usually green. For the stems, there are some stems that also non-photosynthetic, like the wood stems, the trees, stems of the trees and shrubs. Woody stems are not photosynthetic, but all the herbs, all the herbaceous plants have photosynthetic stem. Then the pith, there is no pith, cuticle, also no cuticle, because the roots have to absorb the water from the soil. That is why they don't have cuticle. That prevents water transfer. And also there is no root cap, that is apical meristem. Instead of the root cap there is a there is a bud, yes, bud, that gives a primary growth. And a root has there is no root has, well, there are trichomes. So pericycle also, if you remember, pericycle is a tissue type between the endodermis and the vascular tissue, and then endodermis is usually not exist in the stems. And then the branches, so like these branches, like this is a branch, and in the roots it forms from the lateral buds. Like in the roots there are lateral buds, so this is a terminal bud at the end, and there are lateral buds here from the side, and they will give a branch. But in roots, branches form from the pericycle. So then the monocot stems. So this is a monocot stem, and the tissues are arranged differently in a monocot stem. So the vascular bundles are scattered throughout the ground tissue. So there is ground tissue, epidermis, and vascular bundles. And vascular bundle is like an alien, so two eyes of the xylem, phloem at the forehead, and air space as a nose. So this is a vascular bundle of the zeameyes. Zeameyes is a corn seedling, so it's a corn. So do you like corn? Jasmine, do you like corn? So most children like corn and also popcorn. When you watch a movie, usually you eat popcorn. So also pay attention to this table, and this table shows us a development of the woody eudicot stem, and eudicot stem is developed from the meristematic cells, and uh, the primary xylem and phloem develop from the meristematic cells, then cortex, pith, and epidermis also, and eventually the vascular cambium will remain, and that will give birth to the lateral meristems that are secondary xylem, that is a wood, and secondary phloem that is in a bark. And also the cork cambium will give to the cork will give a secondary tissues that are cork parenchyma and cork cells. So in woody trees there are two types of the cambium, vascular cambium and vascular and cork cambium. The vascular cambium is in the vascular tissue and cork cambium is in the cork. Cork is only seen in the woody stems. So so this picture shows the young young tree and young tree that has a vascular cambium here, and the vascular cambium will make a secondary xylem from the to the inner pod and secondary phloem to the outer pod. And when the vascular cambium develops in young woody stem, vascular cambium produces secondary xylem and secondary phloem. So phloem, and then the periderm, that is the outer bark, is the remnants of the phloem, cortex and epidermis. So here also there are remnants of the epidermis and cortex. So this is young part, but later all these tissues will become the periderm because of the growth of the stem. So, and this is the microscopic structure of the woody plant, and there is a piece at the center and primary xylem, and then the secondary xylem, that is the wood. And secondary xylem have characteristic rings that represent the growth during the 1 year. So this is 1 year, 2nd year and 3rd year. So this is a 3-year old tree, and there is a vascular cambium, and then the secondary phloem, this angled secondary phloem, and then periderm, that are remnants of the primary phloem, cortex and epidermis. So this is a phloem ray and xylem ray. So the phloem ray is usually angled like a pyramid. So, and there is parenchyma cells between. So this is actually a basswood stem, Tilia americana. So tilia are also common in Russian too. So this is a schematic representation of the same picture. So the teeth at the center, primary xylem, secondary xylem, vascular cambium and secondary phloem. There is no primary phloem because primary phloem is in the cork. So if we look at the secondary growth, so the secondary growth uh, goes from the vascular bundle so the secondary growth is from the vascular bundle. So then the trees have a bark, and bark is the outer layer that protects trees. So the bark is different depending on the type of the tree or depending on the species. So there are like oak oak bark, and like some trees have a shaggy bark, and then the betula or paper birch has a peeling bark that is white, and pines usually are scaly. So these are different types of the barks, and the wood actually used to produce the furniture and the paper. So these are two uh, purposes of the wood. So and also there are hardwood and sapwood. So hardwood is actually more valuable. If we look at the microscopic structure of the 3-year-old tree, we can see the annual rings. So and if you look at the annual rings like here, so this is a 1-year growth, and we see that at summer the xylem has smaller cells, when in spring the xylem is larger because there is more water at spring, because the snow melts, and there are a lot of water in the soil. That is why these cells grow larger, and this is so this is a 3rd year, and this is a 2nd year. So previous year summer. So summer is xylem is smaller because less water. So there are also stems that don't have their support system. They will grow with climbing to another plant, like this one. So like this one, you can see that this stem is climbing to the to this steel net. So these climbing stems, they're usually very weak and they cannot support themselves, so they're called vines. Uh, and they grow very fast, and so they have some adaptations. So and usually they are very common in tropical forests, especially in the rainforest, and usually they growth on islands. So, and then there is an asexual reproduction. That means that any part of the stem can be split uh, and give rise to an offspring that are genetically similar to the parent. So these are the ways plants can make an asexual reproduction. First is by rhizomes, and these are underground stems called rhizomes, and they make aerial shoots from the buds that develop along the rhizome, like this bud, and another offspring can grow from this rhizome. Then potatoes form rhizomes with the tubes that are called potatoes. So we actually eat the rhizomes, and these tubes, if you plant these tubes to the soil, they will give a new plant. That is also asexual reproduction. Then the third is a bulb. Sorry, the bulb is a short stem, and this stem has leaves, so like an onion. And if you put this stem to the soil, they will also give a new plant. So actually this is a stem, and we eat the leaves, especially leaves. Then the fourth type is a comb, that is underground stem. So do you remember that most stems are the aerial parts? So usually roots are underground, but there are also underground stems, and the comb is a stem that is surrounded with the scales, and these have the buds uh, that will make a new plant. And the fifth type is very common for the strawberries. Do you like strawberries? Fatma, do you like strawberries? Anyone like strawberries? So the
Yes, of course.
strawberries, do you like?
Yes, of course.
Of course. So if you like strawberries, and do you want strawberries for free?
What?
Do you want strawberries for free?
Yes, of course.
Of course. So if you want strawberries for free, you can take this strawberry plant, and it has uh, some stems that will go longer than usual, and then they have some node, and this node will form a new shoot. Then you can take this new shoot, cut this stem, and you will get a free strawberry in your backyard. So just put some water and it will grow, and then you will get free strawberries all around the year. Very fresh and very tasty. So it's easy way. So this is called a runner or stolon. So special stem, a reproductive stem. So, and they usually have many of these runners before they flower. So somewhere in the May you can find plenty of this one. So today we learned how to get a free strawberries. So this is a very useful practice. So if you like this class, please prepare for the test, and also if you missed some of the part, you can watch this online class at my YouTube channel, and the link is in the educational portal, and I can also give you the link here. So I think, yes, one moment. So this is the link to my YouTube channel. You can find the botany playlist there, and the lectures are all there. So any questions?
No, thank you.
So you don't ask the questions, so but you should ask, because the topic is very complicated. So, and most of this is very complicated. So like, for example, there are 12, there are 11 questions here. So like, let's go through the questions. So if you don't have questions, then I have questions for you. So what is the difference between terminal and axillary boards? So what is the terminal board is at the end of the stem, and axillary boards are at the side of the stem, and terminal board will give growth to the stem length, while the axillary board will give growth to the side stems. So like this one. The terminal board will give to the growth to the stem, and the axillary board will give as growth to the side stem. And the next question is, So this is tough questions. We don't need tough questions. We only there is third two other questions here, but these are on the picture only. So functions of the bud scales and lenticels. So functions of the bud scales and lenticels are actually, so the bud scales, so bud scales are here, scale here, and lenticels are here, and bud scales are you actually modified leaves, and the bud scales will fall off, so the and the best bud scales are will cover the terminal bud and protect bud from the when it's in dormancy. So and then the lenticels that allow gas to exchange. So actually it's like a nose in the in animals, because the bark is not permeable uh, for the water and air, and lenticels allow stem to connect with the atmosphere and to prevent the stem from the damage and uh, from the uh, explosion because of the high pressure. Uh, and also lenticels can be used for the identification, because lenticels of different species look differently. Then you can use that for identification. And then question number 4 is so what are the difference between eudicots and monocots? So the difference between eudicots and monocots are the location of the vascular bundles. So if you look at the eudicot stem, this is the eudicot stem, the vascular bundles are around the edge. And if you look at the monocot stem, the vascular bundles are scattered everywhere. So this is the main difference. And then also, like a vascular bundle have, so the eudicots have a pith and cortex, and the monocots, they don't have teeth and there is no cortex, there is only gum tissue everywhere. So these are the differences. So then the root structures that stems lack, and stem structures that roots lack, you can find it in this table. So this is roots and stems. So root structures that stem lack is a pericycle, a root cap, and endodermis is usually also no endodermis, and there is no so no pericycle, no root cap, and the stem structures that roots lack are nodes, internodes, leaves, buds, pith, cuticle. So these are absent in roots but present in stems. Sorry, and then let's see the so what happens to the primary tissues of a stem when secondary growth occurs? They are destroyed. So like in the in wood, in the trees, in the woody stems, in shrubs and trees, the primary tissues of the stem are destroyed, and then like a primary phloem is completely destroyed, and then epidermis is also destroyed and becomes a cork. So when a strip of a bark is peeled off a tree branch, what tissues are removed? So all tissues before the cambium are removed. So if we look at the tissues like this, actually cortex and secondary phloem are removed. So this is removed. The periderm and secondary phloem. So actually this is removed. So the vascular cambium and the cork cambium. So the vascular cambium is in the vascular tissues. Cork cambium is between the uh, primary, between the secondary xylem and the phloem. So between the secondary phloem and xylem. So the annular ring is this. So this is an annular ring. So annual rings are formed because of the trees will not grow during the winter. They mostly grow during the summer and spring. And rhizomes and tubes are the modifications of the stems that are underground. So rhizomes, and they are used in asexual reproduction. So and combs and bulbs similar. Combs and bulbs are both uh, combs and bulbs. Okay, combs. So this is a comb, and bulb, this is a bulb. So they are both underground. They both are used for the asexual reproduction. And they are actually formed from the stem. And they are actually so they are both underground. so useful as sexual reproduction. So these are the answers for the questions, and then 12th and 13th uh, 13th question are the pictures. So this is the eudicot stem, this is a monocot stem. Both are herbaceous, so actually this is a pith, this is a vascular bundle. This is a epidermis and periderm, and this is monocot stem, vascular bundle, epidermis, and parenchyma cells. So you can find the labels here. So this is for the monocot. Actually, the structure is common, so they have epidermis and they have vascular bundles. Then here pith, but there is no pith in the monocot. It's replaced by the ground tissue, and there is also a cortex here, cortex, and there is no cortex in monocots. So these are all the questions that you should know the answers for. So please be prepared for the test. So I think if there is no question, then we can conclude. Anyone, do you want to take a test? Previous tests? So if no one wants to take now, then please prepare for the next week, and see you at the lecture on Thursday. Bye bye.